Hello, Gabriel, and I just wanted to update my gravel setup. I noticed that Dirt 4 has got a lot of they're going to use a lot of locations that use gravel, like a 3 out of 5 of them are, something like that. So I also know that there's like a Fiesta R5 going to be in the game, so I thought I'd go with my gravel setup for Greece, because I think that will be a good general usable one, workable one for like most of the stages that you're going to come up on, on Dirt 4. And also, if you're still playing this game, then it's going to be good for them too. So I use a slight front brake bias because you just get the most use out of the brakes. It also is good for sort of dragging the car into a bit of a straight line, so like say you start to lose the car, like the rear just won't step back in, then you can sort of lightly dab the brake back into a straight line. Or if you just don't think you're going to get it back, then you can just give like 70% brake input, and you will probably just sort of come to a stop in a sort of wonky fashion, but you won't, just because you've got like all this front braking, which is more powerful than rear braking for stopping the car. You're going to come to a better stop, that sort of thing. Quite high pressure there, not in terms of what the car is actually capable of, but if you compare it to like the earlier cars and stuff, 2700, it's quite a lot, so it gives you a lot to work with. You could easily lock up the brakes with that. Diff. Basically, my logic with this is that, so the looser you are, the more cornering traction you have, and seeing as the front wheels do all the turning, I gave, I want them to have the most traction while turning. So for example, if I'm turning left, then my front right tire is going to have a fair amount of like traction. So if that's got good turning traction, that's going to help me drag me around the corner. And then just more traction on the rear helps keep it in line, and also is better for just putting power to the ground. So if you imagine you had, you step on the gas, and then all of your all of the weight goes to the back, and you've got kind of like imagine a drag race. All the traction goes to the back, and you get a crap load of acceleration because you've got traction on the back and you've got all the weight on the back. Gears. Now gears is an interesting one. So gears, first gear, so I'll show you the default. First gear is always a bit longer. In fact, I'm going to make it just 1 click longer while I'm here, because it's so easy, like on a hairpin, to be on the exit or midway through a hairpin and just be bouncing off the rev limiter. So if you have a nice long first gear, it's good for launching with and good for getting out of really tight corners, basically, with more traction, rather than just being like, oh look, I'm at 40 kilometers an hour just bouncing off the rev limiter, which is bloody pointless. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, so this, just while we're here on gears, I'm going to talk about it real quick. So Germany has a lot of long straightaways, so that means you would probably see that I put the final drive up to like 3/4 of the way and up, almost the whole way up. But in Greece there's really not a lot of straightaways, so we want to make use of all the gears. So we really want to tighten the power bands. If you imagine something like a Formula 1 car, you hear it just going through the gears like mad, and so you don't want to be listening to you really want to keep it like nice and high. And you will note, I guarantee you, for shortening your gears, provided you're on a stage with not a lot of straightaways, you're gonna watch your stage times just go up by like seconds, literally seconds. Suspension, and yeah, so ride height I just put all the way up. Probably could be a little less, but I don't know, it bottoms out quite easily. So yeah, if you find yourself not feeling as stable as you could be, then feel free to lower that, but I've always found maximum to be the best. I mean, if you look at the real WRC boys, they seem to be like bloody flying relative to the floor. Spring rate and tender rate, just, you know, is what it is. Not too soft, not too firm. Bit of stability, bit of accounting for the fact that it's bumpy. Anti-roll bar, another one you might change. Basically, the more left you go, the more weak you go, the more traction you're going to find, but you're also going to find that the car just kind of gets a bit sluggish with its rolling. So I could put it where it gains traction, but it also doesn't sort of wallow around like a hippo. Camera angle, another one you could play around with yourself a bit, but I just found this to be a good place to be. It just gives a lot of cornering traction. You make up so much time. Toe angle, just a bit of turning, doesn't hurt anyone. Again, if you're finding yourself feeling a bit unstable, then feel free to lower it a little bit, but I'd always keep it in the positive. Damping I'm not really going to talk about because it's... I'm sure I could optimize this, but I've never found it worth it. Just, you know, just want it to be a little soft because we're on a bumpy surface. So, there we go, there it is. The last thing I want to talk about, seeing as this is all just a mirror of the front front suspension settings, is toe angle. Negative toe angle on the rear is like amazing. Okay, so in rallying you think of being sideways a lot. That's great, but if you watch the real rallying chaps, you will notice they do a lot to keep their cars in a straight line. And this is exactly what it does. If you read it right there, a negative toe angle on the rear wheels can make oversteer more manageable, but it may cause understeer on corner exit. You can ignore that bit, it doesn't. Well, it doesn't with this amount anyway. But the important bit here is a negative toe angle on the rear wheels can make oversteer more manageable. What that basically means is you'll just feel it kind of, as you're sort of mid-corner, you'll feel the car sort of resisting oversteer, which just means that you have more speed on the exit of a corner. And if you know, I mean, there's that famous saying, isn't there, slow in, fast out? Well, that's exactly what we're achieving with this, is a fast out of the corner approach. So there we go. That is my grease setting, which I have literally just uploaded to the Steam Workshop, and I will hope you will make use of. And if the setup thing on Dirt 4 is similar, then you can use those these ideas over there as well. Okay, thank you very much. Enjoy.